Have you ever sent cards off to PSA to be graded, and when you get the cards back, the grades that is, you're quite disappointed at what the grades are, and you sit on it, you stew, you're like, I think that could have done better, should have done better, and you just get frustrated, and then when reality sinks in and you start calculating the numbers and start from the analytical perspective, you realize, hey, even though the numbers didn't do great, I still made my money back. I paid for the grading, and two, I paid for all of the cards with just two cards that I tend. Yeah, it tends to even out, right? As long as you're sending the right cards, you're sending ones that you think have the potential to 10, and if they do 10, they'll break even the rest of your cards. That's what I try to do when I send cards off to be graded, is I look at what gives me the most return, even if I don't get the highest percentage in PSA 10s. For those of you that are new here, my name is Sam with Loomis Card Craze, where I buy, sell, trade Pokemon cards primarily on eBay. And I tried my hands at grading some cards. I sent 20 cards in back on November 4th, and I just got the cards back in today. So in this video, we are going to go through the cards and the grades and the current value of that graded card and what I plan to do with those cards. So if you enjoy this content, stick with me. I'm going to try my hand at showing the cards up to the camera, and we'll kind of go through them one by one. First one is a Eevee Pokemon Day 2025. I sent it because it had a swirl in it, and I thought if that 10'd, it would be pretty. It did come back as a 9, which was disappointing. It's pretty even. There was no surface damage that I could see. I'm sure I missed something as to why it 9'd and not 10'd. As we'll go through these, again, this is my second time ever sending cards off to be graded, so it's not perfect. It hurt. We'll say that as we go through this. Here is the next one I sent. Pokemon Center Teal Mask Adrepon promo. The promos in PSA 10s go for about 90 to 100 bucks right now, so I figured I would get my return if it 10'd. However, this one was a PSA 8. This card is relatively clean, so I will probably end up cracking this card. Any of the ones that you see are 8s, there's a high likelihood that I will end up cracking. I'm not going to resubmit them or anything, but I'll crack them and sell them as raw. These were cards I was sitting on in hopes that the price would rise, especially since they're the Pokemon Center promos. However, not quite sure if I'm going to sell them now, get my money back off them, or if I'm just going to sit on it kind of thing. Next one we're going to go through is another Adrepon from the Pokemon Center. This one did get a 9. I will probably keep the 9, and I'll probably sit on it. It is a nice card. Who knows if they're going to run, especially with these sets they're attributed to start to go out of rotation. And Pokemon Center ETBs aren't being reproduced anytime soon for those sets. So the market's going to dry up on those quick. Next one I have is another Eevee on the Pokemon Day, and this one also did 9. Again, quite disappointing. Thought it was clean. This one also had a swirl. That, again, thought it was pretty. As I'm sure you know, watching my channel, I do enjoy the swirls. Next one I sent, next few, I should say they're all going to be the same, is the Ends Reshiram, the box topper from Journey Together. As we all know, last summer these ran up to $50 a piece for the raw version. The PSA 10s were up to $300 at one point, so I figured I would try my hand at grading several of them and see what happens. This one came back as a 9, which again, disappointing, but that was my luck of the draw on this one. Same card, another PSA 9. Same card, another 9. As you can see, it's repetitive, but that's just how it goes. Next one I sent that I thought was pretty clean. Darkrai from the Crown Zenith. This card in a 10 is about 300 bucks. So this card in itself, if it had 10, could potentially pay for most of the lot. However, it did come back as a 9. As you can tell, again, not the best grader. Next one is the Rocket Swobafet from Destined Rivals, the Pokemon Center Stamped Edition. And this one came back as a 9. I sent this, if you remember, back in last fall. The raw copy of this card was up to $200. The PSA 10s were about $300 to $400 at that time. They have since dropped significantly, but my hope was to grade it, hold it. That didn't happen. We'll see what I end up doing with the 9. The next one I have is, I think the rest of these. Yep, the rest of these are all the same. I got one more of the other one. Right. We'll do this last Ajerpan, which is a PSA 8. Again, I will probably end up cracking this one. The rest of them are going to be the same card. I tried my luck, as these also ran pretty high, and they are still pretty high for PSA 10s. The Mimikyu EX, number 75 from Paldean Fates, Pokemon Center ETB. This one was a PSA 9. I'm going to kind of go through these quick. Again, the rest of the cards are the same. This one was also a 9. I think I said before, but if I did not, the 10s in this card are currently actively selling for $350 to $400. Whether it's auction, buy it now, they are actively selling on eBay for $350 to $400. Back when they ran last summer, they were up to $500 to $600. So I did get a 10 on this one, which was quite exciting. So this card, $300, pays about half, a little over half of my grading fees to send these cards out. Next one, same card. This came back as an 8, which, again, I'll probably end up cracking that one. I'm going to plan to crack all 8s, so. Same card. Number 9, PSA 9. Disappointing, but this next one will brighten everybody's mood. Another 10. So right there, we have now paid for all of our grading fees for this entire lot. And if you think about it, all the PSA 9s are the same value, if not $5 more than the raw copies, right? So essentially, I'm at a break-even point right now. If I sell the cards for, I'm just going to easy math it, $300 when you take fees into account, $250. So I would get $500 for the 2 Mimikyus at this point, which again pays for all the grading fees and pays for those 2 individual cards. So all the 9s would pay for themselves. And we'll see what else we got in here. And another 9. All right, 3 left. Same card. This one was a PSA 8. Again, probably going to crack it. Don't think I'll regrade them, but all right. Second to last card was a 9. So for those of you keeping track, we are at 5 PSA 9s, 1 PSA 8 for the Mimikyus, and 2 10s. And for the last one, for the 10th card in the Mimikyus, did come back a 10. So 30% on Mimikyus. So again, we're looking at another $250, $300 after fees on just the Mimikyu. So I have paid for now all of the cards, value of the cards that are in this 20 stack, because they're all $20 to $40 cards. I've now paid for all value of the cards, and anything that I sell for the PSA 9s, essentially I'm up on. I'm making money on, and I can use that to buy new cards, send out to be graded. Now again, 3 out of 20 cards, PSA 10, not ideal. It's pretty crappy, to be honest. However, with the cards that I chose, and the ones that PSA 10'd, I chose those that created a surplus of value that allows me to not go negative. That is my biggest fear when sending graded cards to be graded, which is why I don't do it often. I should probably prep another batch and get it sent off. But that fear is there, right? If I had only gotten 2 PSA 10s, I wouldn't have made my money back. So that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for being here if you stuck it all the way through. And if I do end up deciding to send another set to be graded, whether it's PSA, tag, or I'm thinking maybe even Beckett for pristine 10s. Because why not, right? Just kind of playing the field. If I end up doing that, I will create a video on it and show you the method to my madness. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you in the next video.